My grandparents on my dad's side, they were together until the end. The end meaning my grandfather died. My grandfather was named Walter. He smoked cigarettes early on for a while and then quit, and he drank vodka martinis on the rocks with an olive. He loved throwing the baseball and playing golf and yelling at the television while watching war movies. He mowed the lawn and listened to classical music and whistled really loud, and he worked at IBM for decades. My grandmother was named Eleanor. She made the best spaghetti and meatballs known to man and took care of her 4 boys until the boys left. She had no vices, as far as I can tell, except for maybe consistently worrying and saying Jesus H. Christ a lot in exasperation. I still don't actually know what the H in Jesus H. Christ stands for. I looked it up. There's like a bunch of different ideas. She folded laundry expertly and kept her house spotless and woke up every day at 4 a.m. She lived for her children and grandchildren, and she worked at a bank. Walter and Eleanor lived in a house that looked like the White House on 4 acres of land in Southbury, Connecticut. Southbury, Connecticut is as beautiful a place as there is on earth. I'm not kidding. It's utopia in the summer and it's utopia in the winter. Norman Rockwell couldn't paint its beauty. The greenest grass, the bluest sky, the whitest snow, the freshest water, the happiest cows. I watched them, the cows and my grandparents. The cows didn't do much. They seemed truly content. But my grandparents, I'm not so sure. And that was always funny, you know? Funny then and funny now. They had all of it. The house, the cars, the money, the family. Not fancy. That's not who they were. They were kind of devoutly modest. But they had all of it. Yet still there was something discontent. And it seemed to spring out of my grandfather, and then it would land on my grandmother. Like my grandfather would rage in the middle of dinner and storm upstairs. This was just a constant occurrence. Everything would be fine, and he would just do that. Or one night, I was watching, and we were all gathered around, and he fainted just against the wall. His face and eyes slouching, his body falling like a sack of potatoes. And I thought, why did he faint? And honestly, I think he just couldn't take it anymore. But what was it? What was it? What was this unease that seemed unique to them? Or was this unease unique to them? Or was it part of their generation? They were called the silent generation, born between 1928 and 1946. Lives engulfed in war. Boom. Mind blown. The silent generation. That's it. No speaking, really. Or no emotion, rather. Just cold hugs. Sex? I've actually wondered how they even had sex. It's almost like it didn't happen. It couldn't have happened. I don't particularly care to imagine my grandparents having sex, but when I do, I almost can't see it. Like they were totally devoid of sensuality, yet they made 4 kids, but that was it. Something cold, hard, grim. Not 100% of the time. There were occasionally smiles and laughter. Glorious Christmas, glorious Thanksgiving. But the essence was stark. Like their ancestors who crossed icy seas to get to America were still breathing on them. As a matter of fact, what were my grandparents' parents like? I can't even imagine. And watching my grandparents for all of those years made me think about love and relationships. What does it all mean? Were they the standard? After all, they stayed together forever. Literally until death did they part. Certainly for better or for worse, in sickness and in health. Finally, with my grandfather's cancer. I think about them amidst the backdrop of today's culture, my peers who can barely even make a date come to fruition. My peers who may not even have ever heard of the word commitment. I also think about my parents' generation who seem to have invented divorce. But at least they could afford to try to be together, even if it was for a short period of time. Big Brooklyn apartment and 2 kids and a dog in their 20s. Literally impossible now. Do you know who lives in that Brooklyn apartment now? A Chinese billionaire who uses it as a closet for all their worn out Chanel. I'm shocked to meet someone my age, a millennial, or let's say people that are 40 and under, with parents who aren't divorced. So we move from past to present, with my grandparents being committed and married and staying together until the absolute bitter end, and my parents who tried to stay together, but something rejected that notion. Maybe it was their free love sentiments, I don't know, but it culminated in divorce. And then my generation, who looked to never ever be marrying or having children. I'm looking, mind you, I'm listening. 1 is too many and 1,000 is not enough, I think to myself. The ultimate question for a man: how to quell desire. Desire is the liminal space between love and insanity. Can I make it? Can I get there? Love? Be with someone forever like my grandparents? Be with someone forever minus the discontentment? Through anxiety and depression? Thank God I'm sober now, so I can see it and feel it. Otherwise it would be impossible. And I don't want to be a user, or what my generation calls it, a fuckboy. I don't want to be the run-of-the-mill fuckboy. Look, the earth is tarred and feathered with run-of-the-mill, dope-smoking, burnt-out frat boy fuckboys with zero emotional and spiritual intelligence, okay? For fuck's sake, I don't want to be that. I'm not that, thank God. So I lay with my girlfriend. Big curly hair, big mountains of hips, big eyes, jade discs, big lips I begged for kisses. Sweet soul, sweet heart, sweet mind. Beverly Hills apartment. It's night, and my eyes are closed and hers are closed, but I'm awake and I listen to the cars outside and I wonder, is this it? Marriage? Babies? As it pertains to my generation, these are the whispers. The whispers you hear whilst sitting in cafes. How will I start a family? How will I get married? I have 3 roommates. I live with my parents. A house? You want me to buy a house. You want me to buy a house. A coffee now is $7. Blueberries and milk cost $20. Food? Let's not even talk about food, because you want to talk about marriage and babies. You want to talk about marriage and babies. Yeah, I know. I'm trying. Okay. The shit is tough and I'm chewing harder. But my girlfriend, she doesn't even seem to want marriage and kids. But what if we did? I mean, where would we go? What if both of us stopped and looked at one another in the eyes and said, okay, let's do it. Make our own picket fence. Even if the best we can do is imagine it. Imaginary dog, imaginary babies, real love, but the rest is imaginary. Then what? I mean, like, what if we have the baby then? Like a real baby? What, we raise the baby surrounded by our dope-smoking roommates? Or do we raise the baby surrounded by our loving mothers? I mean, the loving mothers doesn't sound all that bad, but what world are we bringing this baby into? I mean, we have to ask that, right? You see the questions, you ask the questions, and then the questions just get deeper. Or should I just forget the questions and just go for it? We, her and I, just go. Run into the fields forever. Through the forest, through the trees. Everything burning behind us. Through the forest, through the trees, the baby's in tow, forever. Let's just go. And you have every right to say I'm speaking generally. Well, my grandparents were totally happy, man. And my parents didn't get divorced. What are you talking about? Or I know a millennial who makes a really good living and fishes on the weekend with his fiance. Yay! But these are the whispers. And we can't discount the whispers. Cafe whispers. I hear people whispering. By the way, anytime you hear people whispering in a cafe, you should lean in. That whispering is most likely a reflection of the zeitgeist. I'm alone. I'm hungry. What shall I do for work? $1,000 in my bank account. You want me to retire? You want me to buy crypto? Yeah. Dwindling right now as I speak. I'm being hit with random bills. Netflix just took $10. Apple just took $10. Spotify just took $10. You want me to retire? You want marriage? You want babies? Okay. Let's do it. Let's do it. But my eyes are closed and I stop. I roll over and I hold my girlfriend. I pull her in tightly. Because tonight we are warm. Warmer beneath the covers just this moment. I smell her hair. I hold her hand. I don't want to go anywhere, actually. Just lay next to my night queen and feel her heart. Thank you.